Hardstock Diamond? Not anymore. After hundreds of games without progress, I climbed to Master in just 13 games with only one comp, Dynamo Flex. This is game 4 of the climb. Full match, full breakdown. Enjoy! The mechanic for this game are the 3 acts where you can choose one. Usually it's just the latter 2 options in my opinion. Don't think I've ever picked the first one. The second one is if you're very low HP and have to stabilize, and yeah, the third option, the ag, which needs like I think 11 rounds, is just for a win out in the end. So we start with the Kog'Maw, nothing too fancy, and get a grey orb, which gives us a Vi and a Braum for Vanguard, and an Alistair and a Gragas for Bruiser. Both are playable here. For Dynamo Flex, I just prefer the Vi and the Braum, the Vanguard line. Although we've got an Alistair pair here, but yeah, I just prefer the Vanguard line. In my opinion, it's just stronger. Here we have to sell the Gragas to make 10, because you already get interests even in stage 1 from the creeps. So getting 10 here is super valuable. Yeah, I guess I just sold everything. I'm not sure about it. It's fine to get the most interest, but Braum and Vi were just a very nice comp to win streak with. The only problem is I only had a gold start, so no items at all, so you can't expect to win streak at all, especially with silver augments. 1, 2, 3s is very good here. Titanic Titan would also be fine, and go for a 5 loss streak to just get even more economy. Cold Shot is definitely not a player. Our board is super weak. Should be 1, 2, 3 here, or maybe reroll Titan even. But 1, 2, 3 is very good with the board state we are in. Yeah, I think it's fair. Although I think you can also argue to play for Titanic Titan and just go loss streak. I don't think that's the correct play. Should definitely lose streak here, not win streak. We've got 1 item. Have literally no chance to get a reasonable streak here with just a tier and nothing upgraded on the board. Like, you could check if everyone is playing open fort, which is sometimes the EU special, where just like half the lobby lose streaks. Then you can try to aim for a win streak. But yeah, in most cases it should have been a loss streak here, not leveling, and then it's also easier to hit more 1-cost units, like a 1-cost 2 star, and maybe turn it around after carousel. Yeah, but you can see I'm a little bit of improving, trying to scout a little bit more. Usually do it especially more in the early phases of the game. Sometimes it's a bit more lacking in the later parts of the games. Yeah, just try to play the strongest board. I will make 30 anyway by selling TF. But I should have definitely played Kog'Maw on the board here in LTF. And I could have just sold both TFs. Although, if you would approach it from an angle of not having a specific comp in mind, you could play the TF here. Maybe even go for TF reroll, although it's not the best comp. I haven't played it in ages. Don't like it that much. Or in the last shop, when you remember, we had a Shyvana and a Veigar, which is also not too bad. Could have picked it up, and because we already have a tier, so could always be blue for Veigar and rerolled him perhaps, with several angles to take. But with this Morgana too, it's fairly decent to just play the Vanguard frontline and Morgana. And as you can see, he's open forting, so basically a lose streak wasn't possible. He picked my route, you should say it so, with the Titanic gaining 30 extra HP, which we could have always also played, and just sold all the board and just started actually playing the game from stage 2 with crazy amount of gold. So we're second pick here. There's 2 tiers. Pretty sure it's always a tier here in whatever spot you are, unless you want like you've got another specific combo in mind, then could have been BT or just the chain burst and slam the tank item. But so we get a free tier. Have blue buff now, and I'm once again set on Dynamo Flex again with my Morgana 2 carrying my early game. And even if you weren't like riding your high on just reaching 3 wins in a row with Dynamo Flex, you will always play the Morgana here with T Slam. Because T is just good, can fit on several comps. Another comp I hinted at in game 1 is the Urgot Divine line, which is basically also the most capped board there is with many 5-cost units. And T is just an incredible item on Urgot. Basically is best in slot and can also be played on Vex. A very juicy shop. Like this could... We're playing for Vanguards here. Because, as you know, I'm just spamming this one comp because I'm just having great success with it. With not having too much of a strong board, only having one item, which is blue buff, this could have definitely been a Cypher line, where we just pivot to Cypher. I already have the Vi, I have the Galio 2-star, and then we just need to find a Draven or LeBlanc, and we can, yeah, build the lose streak and just play Cypher. Especially because it's also very good on Zed. I think it's also one of his biz items, so would have been in an incredible spot right there after the first creep round. But I think both are possible. Always depends a little bit on your experience. How well can you play Cypher? And what's your usual approach to the game? But in general, I'd say you usually pick the Cypher line here. I just don't have too much experience with it, and yeah, I'm just rolling with the Dynamo Flex at this point in time. Until maybe I've got a negative experience with it. So let's see what items we get. We've only got a single one yet, so we can get a huge power up here. And there should just be a Hextech Gunblade Slam. Pivoting both boozers in. We basically already have our frontline now. Yeah, I should consider leveling here. We're so strong, we can just win streak. Which we do. Good play, should always be the play to level here. Even without scouting, you can be fairly certain to be one of the strongest in the lobby, having 2 completed, basically biz items on one carry, which is 2-star, and your front line's just looking very, very decent. The second augment, Trade Tracker is always very good, but you basically need a guide for it on how to best activate it. I think I'm checking right now, because I'm not using a guide for it. And I failed miserably the one time I tried it. The other ones are not that good, but yeah, reroll and get memory bank, which is just amazing for this comp. Like, it's always a little bit harder to hit on 3.2, on stage 3.2, because you get the Aurora and the Hourglass when your units cast 7,000 mana in total. So it's time gated. A little bit easier to fill in early, although it's totally fair. I really like the item, especially when you've got this road locked in. So as you can see, we're super strong right now. Definitely angling to win streak. Should scout a little bit to see whether we could tempo level to 7 and put another Morgana in, also to stack memory bank faster and to preserve the win streak, which would be definitely valuable. Yeah, and even without scouting, I think it's the right play here. Like, if we sell our bench, we still get 240 gold. Could have even done it last turn, even if we went to 20, just because stacking memory bank is just so valuable. And dealing more HP to the whole lobby is just good, so they all spike a little bit lower. Because they have less gold, have to roll earlier, have to level earlier. And he's already got a Misfortune. Not too bad, but he's playing Last Stand. With Cypher reroll, most likely. He's not really going to play Misfortune. At least that's what I'm thinking. He's playing for Cypher reroll, although I don't think he even got Cypher in yet. although he is sort of in the perfect spot, just without the Cypher units, which is kind of unfortunate for him. So here we could take the Elise with a tier, or just a tank item, but I think the Elise with a tier should be just a very easy pick. We didn't really need tiers anymore after blue buff, but it's always a fairly decent item, especially with the Negatron I have, so I can just instantly upgrade my board by slamming Adaptive Farm, because it is one of the best Zek items. Always really like it. Like the fact is when your unit gets hit, it gains mana. So it's very good on people like Zek or Zhonya. And here we just roll a little bit to perhaps upgrade our board some, and we hit an early Garen. I think we made our board a little bit weaker, but I'm kinda banking on the scaling option of Garen, I suppose, and I just want to stack memory bank faster. Although I don't think it's the correct play. I think just playing the 2 Vanguards is better here, especially because we are already win streaking, so you want the strongest board possible. But I suppose both are valid, both can work. Also, because we're still on 90 HP, like I said, Garen is usually not your cap board, so you usually don't play him late, so he's not a priority, because this comp just does not benefit that much from his mods. Whether we are the strongest board and can keep our win streak, in my opinion, it doesn't matter. Like, it would be perfect to keep the streak, but we shouldn't spend any gold right here, because we've got so much HP. The wrong play was playing Garen, and that's where we're getting punished for it, because we just lowered the strength of our board for potential ceiling, which we most likely won't even use. We get our first mod. Should be Bruiser, to be fair. Bruiser on Garen. And here we upgrade Jhin and Braum. Kinda unfortunate, we just lost our win streak. For the items, a little bit more tank, AD and AP items, everything would be good. Like I said in the last game already, the comp is very item hungry, so you need loads of items. And it's also super flexible, because it doesn't really matter if you get tank, if you get AP, or if you get AD items, everything is usable and desirable. Yeah, without a second thought, it's not the 11, it's the 13 round egg. I misremembered about what the strongest egg is, how many rounds it takes, but it's definitely the 13 round egg with as much HP as we have. Also, in my opinion, this is definitely the wrong play. I think because I had so many bad experiences of being too greedy and going to 8 too fast without stabilizing, or going to 9 before stabilizing, I'm rolling a little bit deeper. But in this case, it is a mistake. At least that's how I see it, because we already have the Braum 2, we already have the Jhin 2. The only thing we are really rolling is for Lucky Misfortune on 7, or for the Elise 2. And it's definitely not what we needed, also considering the streak we just lost, so we don't even benefit from this. So here the items trifecta is fine when you reroll Elise and Braum, which I'm not planning to. And here it should be Sated Spellweaver, because the crit thing, it was the wrong one. It was the one where you get AD, which is fine for Misfortune, but it's bad for Elise. So we picked Sated Spellweaver, get a little bit more life steal. Not a great option. On second thought, I think it was Mana Flow Band actually, where your units in the back rows gain mana per attack, 3 mana. Yeah, because now we're here on 30 gold on level 8, which is a totally valid spot. But we could have been on level 8 with maybe 40 gold, or actually 60 gold, and just rolled till 40 gold on 8 and have better odds. Maybe to hit an early Zac, maybe to hit a Misfortune already, but we rolled on 7 without much benefit, even though we were fairly strong already. Yeah, at this point there's not that much to do. We're not rolling, we're not above 50. We should just scout the strength of the other boats, whether Misfortune is contested and whether we should dig a little bit for it. But since we've got so much HP, we're in a very comfortable spot and can use our HP as a buffer again. Because this is a top 4 angle for sure, most likely a win-out angle with, especially with the egg. We're supposed to lose here. We're not that strong, we're still on 40 gold. He rolled to 0. He hasn't had Zeri 2 yet, but we haven't even got Misfortune. Like, as I said, if I didn't roll on 7, we would be more comfortable here and could have digged a little bit on 8 already. For items, we basically need everything. We need a 3rd Elise item, we need tank items, we need 80 items. Anything works here. Should be crit most likely with brand 4 gold if we get it. Yeah, which we don't, so it's a Z. It's a Z and the 3rd item for Elise, although we can't even slam anything yet. There's another mod. Doesn't make a whole lot of a difference. It should probably be Divine Corp on Elise. Guess I'm not sure about it. Everything's not that great. Could also pick whatever, Bruiser Vanguard. Bruiser on Kane? Definitely not the right player. It would be Bruiser on Garen or Vanguard on Gragas. But as I said, preferred option should have been Elise and Divine Corp, although I don't know the math, what's actually the best. So we're still losing. This is usually the spot where I kinda just want to go level 9 and roll there, but that would always be the mistake, to go level 9 here without a Misfortune. We definitely need to hit a Misfortune here first. I don't know why I'm not rolling. It's one more combat. We've got 11 or 16, even 19, 20, 23 gold, access over 50 with our bank. We need to roll here. No doubt about it. There's no reason to greed. Going level 9 is griefing. Especially in faster paced lobbies. Like the higher you get, the more you are getting punished for it. And it all comes back to sort of bite us because we tried to stabilize on 7 when we were already stabilized. We already had a Brom 2, just rolled 4 Elise, like 10 gold. It just still hurts. Would have most likely have a Misfortune otherwise. Yeah, here. It's the infamous route to level 9 without Misfortune, which is typically always a mistake. Unless you get super lucky. Like, we only have 40 HP. It would be a fine play to do with like 80 HP. But I kinda even need to sag one more. I don't have enough gold, but I realize I don't have enough HP. But to hit everything on 9 you need loads of gold. Like even this one, this angle, could have been Urgot now. I'm super fixated on Dynamo Flex, but I don't have a Misfortune. I just have an Urgot in the shop. I've got a blue buff, a Hextech Gunblade, both totally valid, fine Urgot or even Vex items. And even a Kraken's Fury. Could have definitely been Urgot here. And here I just need to be very fast with my items because I can't afford a terrible loss. So just slam good tank items. The AP item should have been Last Whisper on Jhin here. Or just the Thieves Gloves and Gragas. Too slow and take a terrible loss. Like, this is basically unforgivable. Losing 15 HP, I think. From 42 to 24. Or even more. So here we get Memory Bank as well. I need to roll to 0. Need to roll to 0 here. I'm super lucky. Got Aurora 2-star. Due to the Memory Bank, which just activated. It's a little bit messier this round. Trying to transition here already, because I still don't have a Misfortune. So no one even benefits from the Syndicate. There's the Misfortune. Sell Jhin. Yeah, roll more. Not too bad if I roll down, but way too slow still. Way too slow. At least I kinda slammed the items in time. I think Ionic Spark is fair here, because we still have Misfortune 1 and basically around Aurora carry and Elise. But my spot should have been so much better here. Being on 2 lives when we could have been on 3 or even 4 still. We get another mod. Dynamo mod for sure. Put it on Garen. I think it's Garen's pretty decent with it. Need to roll to 0 here, stabilize, find a Zac finally. Not rolling here is not the play. I'm also not sure why I'm trying to go Morgana 3 here. It doesn't do anything. Especially with Aurora 2 here, Morgana never gets any items. With the fights, fairly decent. Because we have an Aurora 2. Should honestly just transfer items as well over to Aurora, because she's just a better unit than Elise at this point. We should look for more Relics here. If we get it, more AP Shred. AP Shred would be good here. And just reforge the Ionic Spark. It should always be the play. Yeah. Honestly, should have already reforged an item component earlier. And not slammed Ionic Spark. It was a fine play, I suppose. Okay, so here we get 2 Artifact Anvils. Not that great. Nothing really is a particularly good option. Don't think I like anything. Guess Death Defiance is fine on Rennek. And here's another thing. Yeah, Zhonya's is very nice. Having 2 Zhonyas, 1 for Elise and 1 for Aurora. Basically making my backline invincible. Now we've got 2 Elise and 2 Aurora items. Just super strong. Although, sadly enough, our misfortune is basically non-existent. But maybe we can pick up some more 80 items on the way. But the reason we don't have misfortune was, all along, not stabilizing on 8. I guess it was a fine play after all. Also because we were guaranteed an Aurora. But since we were guaranteed an Aurora, we didn't need to bank on level 9 to hit her. There's the misfortune too, after all. And a Zac. Very nice. So we switch him in. Fell again. Although I'm not even sure if that's the correct play. Like most likely, but we had... I think you always play Zac, and you of course also play Rennek because you've got an item for him. But we had 3 mods. Of course it was only Garen 1. But I'm not sure. Maybe you can write your opinion. Was it a good play to cut Garen even though he already made 3 mods for us? And played Zac, because Zac with 0 blocks. Because Zac with 0 blobs doesn't do too much. And the game's almost over. Everyone is on 1 HP, every round matters. So I don't really have time to scale. Don't have that much gold, maybe 30 gold after creeps. Although the mods were just on Braum and on Kayn, that's also another reason why Garen is just not that good. Because even if you hit him early, you will still transition your whole board and you don't really want to keep all the mods on your bench for ages. I also still haven't reforged the Ionic Spark. I think I haven't realized yet. Should definitely reforge. Maybe we get a good misfortune item even. Or just another item on Renekton. Definitely need to roll to 0 here. Lobby is totally low. Every round is super important.
I know what lurks in the shadows. The fun begins. The fun begins.
I should really roll here. Sell the misfortunes. Roll further. Get the Giant Slayer for misfortune. And reroll the item on Gragas. Could save us HP here if we hit an 80 item. And we've got 2 reforgers left. Fairly close loss. But the lobby is so... It's always scary when everyone's on 1 HP. Counts so much. And maybe our early death bites us in the back. Where we lost like 20 HP almost. Like 18 HP. Should sell the Elise, honestly. Need to sell the Elise here to hit Nunu 2, also getting teleported in as a Nunu. It's always a very good unit. No harm in that. Yeah, now I realized when they were already started, I have to reforge. Too little, too late. But maybe we still win. Our board's still looking strong. We only have a Zek 1 though. It's a huge bottleneck, even though he's our highest scaling option. We win comfortably, although I suppose it was just a ghost, so maybe we're a little bit lucky. Only one guy died. That'll be super close. There's Zach. Sell Elise. Literal for Zach. There's the Nunu. The Kabuko. Alright. Doesn't look too bad. Like, of course, it's kind of bad with the Zag 1. Don't think I should have reforged it. Giant Slayer was fine. I think I'm debating whether blue buff is better on Aurora, but I don't think it is. We're definitely getting carried by the Aurora too, due to memory bank and hitting her in the same shop. Playing the last stand guy, which is also super strong. But Elise and Aurora should surely pull through with their invincibility. And yes, they do. Look at Aphelios, he didn't even know who to attack. Definitely carried us to a top 2 already. Very nice. Yeah, that's win streaking with the Zag 2. We lost earlier to him. The last item should be something from Misfortune, but there's nothing in particular great about it. So just a Reneg item. Should go for the Yumi. I'm not sure why I'm going for the Divine Corp here. Doesn't do too much. Should have been another Renekton item, I suppose. Divine Corp is fine, I guess. If we had a Zac, we could first, but doesn't seem likely. Doesn't seem likely, it's not likely. Last fight? Should even sell the Zac to be fair. Now the Zac 1. Ah, no we shouldn't. Last fight? Maybe our backline can pull through. Although only having Zac with like 15 blobs, while he has probably 30 plus, should be very, very hard. Zac is carrying. Zhonya is getting activated. Both invulnerabilities procced and not enough. With Zac 2 would have surely won, so it's just a second place. Still a fairly good result. For the main takeaways, don't make your ball weaker when you're on a win streak. Also, the biggest mistake was rolling on 7. When we've already stabilized, we should have straight gone to 8, since we had a Brom 2 already. Then, not rolling on 8 and going straight to 9 without MF was very questionable. Although sort of fine, because we had no real items for her. But yeah, couldn't hit Zac ultimately. So to answer the opening question, whether you can win without your carries, MF having no real items and only having Zac 1 star, the result is almost. It's enough for a second. Let's see if we can get a win in game 5. See you then.